All right, well, I'm glad to see everyone here. If you have never been here before, or maybe have been a while, I'm Jacob Hawkins. Contrary to my name tag, I am Jacob Hawkins. And I'm a student leader here and a senior at West. But I'm sure that everyone has heard the expression heaven on earth, or at least heard somebody say, like, this is like heaven. Some kind of comparison to heaven, which is where we go after if we're saved. This might be in response to an awesome event, place, or experience. It might be seeing something like the Grand Canyon, which some of us are going to be able to see over the summer. It might just be relaxing on the beach. Or maybe if you're like me, it might be eating Chick-fil-A several times a week, because that kind of feels like it. However, no matter what you compare to heaven, this statement does not come close to heaven at all. If it doesn't directly point to God, this is not God's idea of heaven, or heaven on earth. His idea of heaven on earth is to be in a state of worship and to build upon the relationship between you and him. He is the creator of all things that stands with us with every step of our walk. And before I go any further, I'd like to clarify a misconception, because I had actually thought this for a while when I was in like middle school and stuff. But worship is not just in the gym where we sing songs, or in big church when we're listening to the band. Even though that's a great way of worship, it's not the only way of worship. So it's worship is the form of valuing and appreciating God and his holy power. And if you ever experience true worship and set everything at the foot of the cross, you know what kind of unique feeling that you have when the Holy Spirit is upon you and fills you with the indescribable love of Jesus. With that being said, why do we find it so hard to remain in the state of worship? Well, the short answer is that we're all humans, and we often put ourselves above all else. But thankfully, God does not give up on us, and he continues to infinitely love us. The actual definition of worship is the feeling or expression of reverence and adoration for God. So this just means to show the deep love, respect, and appreciation for all that God does, has done, and will do in our lives. So first thing is, why should we worship God? God has provided us with everything in our lives, from the air that we breathe to even the ability to appreciate him. So in Colossians 1:16, it says, "For by him all things were created, both in the heavens and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through him and for him." So God is the creator of all things. He created everything through Jesus, which just begins to show his immense power. Through him, all things are made possible. So imagine you created something so great that like you would want to keep it for yourself, right? But God made this beautiful earth for us and gave everything to us. So it's like we should appreciate for him that. He gives us everything that we need. In Ephesians 2:8, it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, this is a gift of God." So this is the first bolded thing I have in my notes, and it's God saves, not us. We don't do the work. God puts in the work. He is the one who moves mountains for us. He sets aside everything for us. He created everything for us. So we can't like have that power to save ourselves. We need something else to deliver us from sin and evil, and he does this through a significant love and grace. He fulfills the gospel and provides us with everything we need, so we owe it to him to worship him and spread the good news. With this great creation that he made, it's only right that we share with other people and share the gospel, because he made it for us, so why should we be selfish and keep it for ourselves when he gave it to us in the first place? It's not actually ours, so we should experience it with other people. Jesus chose the cross for us, so we are called to choose him over these earthly things that he's already overcome. He laid down his life for us and even overcame death. So imagine you're stressing about something, like maybe me. I stress about what I'm going to eat for dinner, and my mom, I'll text her often, and she'll be like, I have it planned, whatever, we're having dinner, blah, blah, blah. My next question is, what are we going to have? But why should I stress when it's already taken care of? That's the same way God does for us, is that we are going to experience these things, but he's already saved us. Jesus already died for us on the cross and overcame this power of everything that happened before him, everything that happened when he was alive, and everything that happened after he died on the cross for us and rose. He has brought people out of the depths of evil and out of situations that didn't seem escapable, so we owe it to him to lift up his name and glorify him. I relate to this a lot because if you were here for my last message, you know a lot of my testimony and journey. So the fact that I got through that situation because of him, it's only right that I glorify his name. And everybody has a testimony like that lifts Jesus' name up on high. So the second thing I'm going to go into is the importance of worshiping Jesus. So after we've already talked about what is the reasons why we should worship him. Worship is a vital part of our relationship with God since it's the basis of our appreciation and love for him. He loves us so much, so it's only right that we love him as much as we can back because he has this infinite love for us and he set aside everything for us. People might think that we can only have an appreciation for God's power when our lives are good and positive things are occurring in our lives. But we're called to worship him in all states of our life. I mean, if we were to only worship God whenever everything was perfect, how little would we worship him? And that doesn't seem right because even if you have a bad day or a good day, at least you live through the day. I mean, at least you have that basis of something that's given to you. If you have, maybe like me, maybe you have an old car, or maybe you have a really nice car, it doesn't matter because you still have a car. So just be thankful for all things on the basis of them. And God answers prayers in 3 ways. He tells us yes, he tells us no, and he tells us later. And we should be thankful for the yeses, thankful for the nos, and thankful for the laters because at least we got an answer and at least God is always there for us. Worship requires a sense of surrender, which is necessary for the basis of our relationship with God. So in Proverbs 3:5-6, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths." If we surrender to him, God promises to lift up our burdens in our lives and provide guidance in our lives. So he's reassuring us that he's always there for us and he's got everything figured out. We just got to trust in him. Because our own understanding often falls short of anything we do in our lives. Because we don't know all the answers, but God does. It's the gospel, it's in the Bible. All answers that we need are in there and he has everything set aside for us. If the creator of all things calls for you to allow him to take control of situations, don't you think we should listen? If he knows everything, why do we put our pride above everything else and think that we know the answers when we obviously don't? Because we all sin, but God and Jesus never sinned. So we should listen to them because they have the guidance and they have the knowledge and they have the ability to help us in our lives. Worship allows us to focus on him, which allows us to take a step back from our lives. It also allows us to be in his presence. So in Psalm 91:14-15, he says, "Because he was focused his love on me, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls out to me, I will answer him, and I will be him in his distress. I will deliver him, and I will honor him." So if we focus on him, then he's got us. He's always there. Even if we don't focus on him, he's still there. So if we look to him, and it's like a parent, when you're a kid, you don't know everything, but your parent knows way more than you do, so you should listen. God once again promises us that we will be delivered, and that this time is through focus. How hard is it to pass a class when you're not focused on what the teacher's saying? If you sit there and think you will just know everything and don't listen to the teacher, you're gonna fail the class. You're not gonna do well. And you might think that, I can cheat my way through this class, but there's no cheating on your way to heaven. You have to trust in Jesus. He is the one way to heaven. It's not through good works. It's not if you're a good person. It's not if you make good grades, you go to a good school, have a good job, whatever. He is the only way to get to heaven. And he will deliver us from anything if we put our trust in him. 1 Peter 5:8, if this will work. There we go. It says, "Stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour." So when we have our focus set on God, the enemy has no foothold on us whatsoever. If God is the main focus in our lives and we worship him, then it's very hard to fall into just a continuous thing of sin. And you won't stray away from God as easy. And then if you do, you have it's our fault. So like, if we ever focus on God, this provides protection from evil, and we wear the entire set of armor of Christ, then what can do harm to us? If we have everything surrounded around us that is Christ, then nothing stands a chance to take us down. All right, never mind. All right, but I don't even, where was it? Whatever. I'm just going to move on. Finally, worship celebrates God and everything he has done for us. And, wait, did I mess it up? This praise that we exhibit gives credit to the name of the Lord. And in Psalm 100, 1 through 5, it says, "Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know the Lord, he is God. It is he who made us, and we are his people, to the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving." Here we go. "Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name, for the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations." So this is once again God reassuring that he's got us. His love is so immense that we can't even understand it. We can't understand his power, his presence, and his love. But the fact that that love is there means a lot, and we should turn to him in whatever, because he has us. And if we worship him, we exhibit this praise and this thankfulness for him, because he is good, and we can never come close to his greatness. So we should always just stand with him, because he provides this relationship with us, and he's always going to be there for us no matter what. When I was researching and developing this message, I came across an article that stated the 7 great reasons to give thanks to God. And these reasons kind of tie together the first and second part of this message. But number 1 is his love. It's a never-ending love that he provides us with. He's always there for us. He's always he's always listening. He's always there. If you pray, he will give you an answer. If you worship him, he will stand by you with whatever. Number 2 is his provision, and that is him providing and supplying us with everything we need. We are given the necessities of life, and we are also given the necessity of his love, because we're broken, and he allows us to be fixed through his love and through Jesus' sacrifice for everybody. Number 3 is his forgiveness. He forgives everything that we have done, and all we're required to do is to just hand it over to him. It sounds so easy, but oftentimes we just don't do it because we think we can fix everything ourselves. But if you think you messed up so bad, he gives us this opportunity to hand everything over to him. And he will once again say that I got it. And he does have it. He has everything. He has always been there for anybody who has ever been on this earth, and he will be there for anybody who ever steps foot on this earth. Number 4 is his word. Throughout the Bible, he provides the gospel, or the good news, and he fulfills it in all of his other promises. There's no time in the Bible where he said he's going to do something and that didn't happen. He's a man of his word. And part of his promise is that he will always be there for us. He will always save us. He will always forgive us. He will always love us. So why is it so hard for us to just look at that and just thank him and always be there with him and allow him in our lives? Number 5 of his creation. He made everything through Jesus, which allowed for our life. Now, I've heard through different experiences and stuff or something like that this earth is so perfect for us that if we were just maybe I don't know exact number, but if we were just a few feet away or towards the sun, then our life would never be able to exist. So the fact that he has this perfect engineering for us of this earth, and he provides everything that we need on this earth, from housing, the food to water, whatever, we should be thankful for that. Because this building wouldn't be here without him. We wouldn't be here without him. Number 6 is his people. These are the people that God has put in our lives, from our friends and family to the body of the church that helps us grow towards him. Now, it's not just or you don't just get a sense of love and power and knowledge just from listening to God. He speaks through other people. So we should be thankful for this ability, and we should not take advantage or take for granted the people that are in our lives, because God speaks through them. Like me right now, this isn't my knowledge or my understanding. This is God's. This is what He's told us, and it's just a vessel. Number 7 is His plan and ability to receive us. He has a plan for each and every one of us that contains a powerful purpose, and He tells us to come to Him as we are, because He accepts us for who we are. No matter how broken we are, no matter how great life is going, He will accept us no matter what, and He will make everything right, and He will take everything from you if you lay it at the foot of the cross. And that last reason about His ability to receive us as we are and how He's always there for us is pretty significant to me, because I know sometimes I can be a lot to handle, and you can even ask my mom, because I get on her nerves a lot. But the fact that someone is always there for me is extremely important, and we should appreciate this ability, because I'm sure that we all get on our parents' nerves sometimes. But God doesn't get angry at us. He doesn't just use His power against us. He's always there for us if we come to Him with anything we have. And these reasons are just the many reasons that we are called to worship Him, and it's vital that we appreciate these and worship Him, because He, once again, is the creator of everything. And He, like Jesus, already died for everything for us. So we should appreciate His ability for that. The last part of my message is, how can we worship God? So I have 5 reasons. The first one is that you can use music, since God has given us voices, and we're called to glorify Him through everything we do and everything that we are given. So, yes, being in the gym is a great form of worship. It's not the only one, but it is a great way. Number 2 is you can give Him thanks, since He provides a sense of appreciation. So in 1 Chronicles, if it will work, there we go. He says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good, and His love endures forever." So he once again shows that His love is immense. His love is endless. It'll never go bad. It'll never stop. He will never stop loving us for anything we do, which I think is extremely important that we appreciate, because we're all sinners. We're all broken, and a perfect Creator can easily just say that we're not as good as Him, but He doesn't. He loves us no matter what, and He accepts us. Number 3 is you can enjoy His creation and appreciate it. So even just being outside, or just maybe a beautiful sight like the Grand Canyon, just appreciate it. His creation. He gave it to us. Number 4 is you can live in the presence of God and listen to the Holy Spirit. So in John 10:27, it says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." And then in Jeremiah 33:3, He says, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and I will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known." So it's not just us reaching up to God and allowing Him to speak through us. It's God also coming to us, because He talks to us in many different ways. It might be a sign. It might be, there's in the Bible, there's people who have dreamed, seen visions, whatever. But God has this ability to tell us exactly what we need to do, like how He feels and what our purpose is, and just anything. The guidance, His love, whatever. He always has this ability to talk to us, and when we just sit back and listen, then He has a lot to say to us. Number 5 is you can worship through serving, since we are called to share the gospel. So in Matthew 5:16, it says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." So you can be this vessel of God for other people, since we are called to be thankful for His people and listen to other people and allow God to speak through us. So we might be allowed to serve people in very different ways. Might be helping people's houses, like we do on Kentucky, or we did on Kentucky, we did at Wilmington, whatever. But it can also just be in your community. If a neighbor asks to help for a move, that's a perfect opportunity to serve them. And you can also just have a conversation, bring up God, and just be this vessel for other people. As I begin to wrap up, I want to leave you with a final question. Are you giving God His worthy praise? I would also like to challenge you to spend 15 minutes a day worshiping God in whatever way you please and see just the impact that he has in our lives when we give him our praise and attention. This creator who is so powerful doesn't just stop once he makes this creation. He's an active God. He's always there for us. He's always talking. He's always making things happen. He's always moving mountains for us. He's always forgiving. So, are we really giving him the worthy praise? Because this perfect creator seems to be overlooked by us and our pride a lot. So, yeah. I have discussion questions for small group that I will leave up here. So just keep in mind that question and challenge. And you can go outside with your small group. You can stay in here with your small group, whatever. I'm going to leave these up. But I will wrap us up and pray real fast.
Hey, Jacob, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
As a teenager, I didn't ask him this ahead of time, so I'm putting you right on the spot. Great message, by the way. How would you respond to somebody who might approach you and say, I agree with everything that you just said tonight, but sometimes I just don't feel like worshiping? You know, like sometimes I'm mad at God, or sometimes I feel like I've been dealt an unfair deck of cards and everybody else around me seems, how would you respond to somebody that just says, like, I know that I should worship God because he is great and he is good and he tells us how to do that? But what kind of advice would you give to somebody who struggles to know how to come before God?
I mean, you can look at Job and his story. He had everything stripped away from his life, but he still thanked God for everything. And it brings me back to the point of, like, if you have a good day or a bad day, at least you live through the day. Like, we should worship God in whatever see fit. If you're struggling, you should worship God because he's there for you no matter what. And you look to him, he will provide anything that you need to get through. So just the fact that he's always there for us is worthy of praise and worship. And also, the amount of times I've gone into a worship session with a bad mindset or like I have struggles, if you lay it at the foot of the cross, he will take it away. And he will make everything fine, and he will make everything good in your life when you just give him the ability and focus for him to move in your life. Yeah. Is there any other questions? No? All right. I will wrap us up in prayer, and then we can go to small group. Dear God, thank you for this day, and thank you for all these people who are here, and thankful for the opportunity to speak. I pray that if I said anything wrong or that goes against your message, I hope that you please just clarify that and make it right in anybody's hearts. I pray that throughout the week that we will just sit back and allow us to worship you and allow you to move in our lives. I'm thankful for everything you've done in my life, and I'm sure most people in here feel the same way. I pray that as we go into small groups with these discussion questions and any other questions or struggles somebody has, that your name will be glorified and anybody who does not know you will be sent in your direction. And I pray that, and I know you will raise any kind of struggle or anything off of their life and make it good. Thankful for everything that you've done in my life and everybody's lives in here. Thankful for this beautiful creation that we have. Just thank you. Amen.